The distress beacon had been silent for 3 cycles when Lena's vessel finally breached the atmosphere of Cathara 9. The planet was a frozen wasteland, its surface scarred by the recent conflict between the hegemony and the resistance. Most humans would have turned back, filed a report, and moved on. But Lena wasn't most humans. She found the crash site at dawn, or what passed for dawn on this ice-locked world. The wreckage of a Ketharan scout ship lay scattered across a glacier, its hull torn open like a metal flower. And there, huddled in the shadow of the largest fragment, were 2 small forms. Cubs. Lena's breath caught. Ketharan cubs were rare sights. Their species guarded their young fiercely, never allowing them near conflict zones. These 2 couldn't have been more than 5 solar cycles old, their silver fur matted with frost, their large eyes dim with exhaustion and fear. "Hey," Lena whispered, approaching slowly. She kept her hands visible, her movements deliberate. "I'm not going to hurt you." The larger of the 2 cubs, a male, she thought, bared tiny fangs and stepped protectively in front of his sibling. His name patch read Rauk in angular Catharan script. "Rauk," Lena said softly, committing the name to memory. "That's a strong name. You're doing a good job protecting your friend." Rauk's ears flattened, but he didn't attack. Behind him, the smaller cub whimpered, pressing against his back for warmth. Lena slowly unclasped her thermal jacket and held it out. "Look, I know you don't trust me. I wouldn't either. But your sibling is freezing, and so are you. Let me help." For a long moment, Rauk stared at her. The wind howled across the glacier, carrying with it the promise of a deadly storm. Finally, the cub's legs buckled, and Lena saw the dark stain of blood on his side. She moved quickly then, scooping both cubs into her arms despite Rauk's weak protests. They were lighter than she expected, their bodies trembling violently against her chest. She wrapped her jacket around them both, tucking the thermal material snugly to trap what little heat remained in their small frames. "I've got you," she murmured, running back to her ship. "I've got you both." The ship's medical bay wasn't designed for Catharan physiology, but Lena made it work. She sealed Rauk's wound with biofoam, administered broad-spectrum antibiotics, and placed both cubs on heated pads. The smaller one, whose patch read a name Lena couldn't quite pronounce, curled into a tight ball, unconscious but stable. Rauk's eyes followed her every movement, wide and wary. "You're safe now," Lena said, pulling a chair beside the medical bed. "I'm taking you to the nearest Ketharan outpost. Your families will be looking for you." Rauk's ears twitched. He made a sound, a low, rumbling vocalization that Lena's translator struggled to process. "What was that?" she asked gently. The cub tried again, his voice weak but determined. "You are small?" Lena blinked, then smiled. "Yeah, I get that a lot. Humans aren't as big as Catharans." "Small," Rauk repeated, his gaze drifting to where Lena had draped her jacket over both cubs like a blanket. "But warm." Something in Lena's chest tightened. She reached out slowly, giving Rauk time to pull away. When he didn't, she gently stroked the fur between his ears. "Sleep, Rauk. I'll keep watch." The cub's eyes began to close, but he forced them open again. "Mother said, humans are dangerous. Some are," Lena admitted quietly. "Some of every species are. But not all of us." Rauk was silent for a moment. Then, with the last of his strength, he shifted closer to his sibling, pressing his nose against the smaller cub's head. "Thank you, Lena." She froze. "How do you know my name?" "Badge," Rauk mumbled, already drifting. "Read Badge." Lena glanced down at her uniform where her name was indeed printed. A small laugh escaped her. Smart cub. She sat vigil through the night as her ship cut through the void toward Catharan space. She monitored vitals, adjusted temperatures, and kept her promise to watch over them. Twice she tucked her jacket more firmly around the sleeping cubs when they stirred. As the first light of the Catharan sun glinted through the viewport, Lena heard movement. She turned to find Rauk awake, his eyes clearer now, his breathing steady. The smaller cub was still asleep, but color had returned to both their faces. Rauk looked at Lena for a long moment. Then, with great effort, he pulled himself up and positioned his small body between Lena and the door. "What are you doing?" Lena asked, confused. Rauk's voice was stronger now, filled with a solemn determination that seemed far too old for his age. "You guarded us. You gave us warmth. You tucked us in." He lifted his chin, his silver fur catching the light. "Now we guard you." Lena felt her eyes sting. "Rauk, you don't have to." "Catharan way," Rauk interrupted firmly. "Dead of warmth. Dead of life. He glanced back at his sleeping sibling, then at Lena. We are small, but we will grow, and we will remember. Lena knelt down to his level, meeting his earnest gaze. I'll remember too, Rauk. Both of you. The cub's ears perked up, and for the first time something like a smile crossed his alien features. He moved closer and, with surprising gentleness, pressed his forehead against Lena's hand, a Ketharan gesture of trust and bond. When I am grown, Rauk said quietly, I will find you, and I will guard you, as you guarded us. Lena wrapped her arms carefully around both cubs, feeling their steady heartbeats against her own. Outside, the stars wheeled past, indifferent and cold. But here, in this small ship crossing the void, warmth bloomed, the kind that no frost could ever touch. Deal, Lena whispered into Rauk's fur. Deal. The ship sailed on, carrying its precious cargo toward home, while behind them, the frozen planet faded into memory. But the bond forged in that moment, human and Ketharan, small and strong, guardian and guarded, would endure across the stars and through the years to come. Some debts, after all, are paid not in currency or contracts, but in loyalty that transcends species, in warmth shared during the coldest nights, and in the unbreakable promise between those who have seen each other's true hearts. And that, Rauk would later tell his own cubs, is why humans are dangerous, not because they are cruel, but because they have the terrifying capacity to care, even for those who are not their own.